Thank you, Anthony. And we're resuming back at Farnham Park with a high sky, temperatures about 26. Beautiful, beautiful day and a nice cool breeze. So we're looking for some great baseball action from some of the top teen athletes in this MLB Elite Tournament. And our first batter there strikes out looking.
That was a Spanish outfielder against a good-looking Italian lefty who displayed some really high-quality off-speed stuff in his last pitch. So we've already got one out here in Game 2, and we're going to bring you these players' names and their countries and the scouting report on them. A lot of 90 players here. We just can't memorize all the names, but we're going to get them to you as fast as we can.
And in Game 2, we've got the British representation of Ollie Thompson and Aiden Pierce playing. So that's a big showcase here for British baseball.
Agree. They're really nice. I know you interviewed both Aiden and Ollie, and what two great high-quality young men. Good character, good ball players. Nice to have them. Congratulations to them both.
And here's our pitcher looking in for the sign, taking a little bit break, calling timeout. And outside for a ball. We got representation here from 13 different countries all over Europe. We have coaches, parents, fans, and just a great atmosphere.
Smooth at any position, and that was a good piece of hitting there. Hit a curveball, got on top of it.
And here we have number 47 coming up to bat with a runner on first base.
Mail Zahn. He's got a big bat, going to attend some college in the States.
High and outside.
French outfielder, first baseman, 6'2", 210.
There's a fastball low and inside for a strike on a big swing by number 47. Panning the field here. Left field is 330, dead center 400, right field 340. MLB batters all around with some good bunting. It's been a fantastic experience to see this field with the amount of resources and investment that Major League Baseball has put in the last few days. It looks absolutely exceptional.
I'll tell you what, the bones of the field have always been good. They've given it the TLC. They've upgraded the padding, and the gray team played the red team in the first game. They won 6-2. Little grudge match here, Jerry, between the two of the GB coaches. One coach is the gray team. The other coach is the blue team. Will Lintern for the blue team, and Liam Carroll for the gray team. So a little bracket. Ball hit. Ball's coming into the third baseman. Not a bad slide. The runner tried to swim past it, but couldn't. Nice play by the third baseman. Great throw by the left fielder.
And great camera coverage there by our broadcasting booth.
These guys are okay, Jerry.
Not bad there for, these Americans in the booth. And there's a big swing and a strike for the first pitch, fastball. So as we turn back to the action here, we have a runner on first base. We have our left-handed pitcher holding him.
The batter is Paolo Brossier.
Low and outside. Nice catch there by our catcher.
I don't know the exact number of French players we have, Jerry, but there's quite a lot of them here. Well done.
And here we have our pitcher holding our runner on first. There's a fastball on the inside corner.
The one notice, Jerry, the one thing I noticed, Jerry, is that the wind is a bit stronger in this second game than it is in the first game. So that's going to play a little havoc with our papers on our desk here.
And with this high sky, it's a big battle to see a fly ball. There's a shot down the right side, foul ball.
Didn't miss that, did he?
Nope. And returning back to the action here, we've got the infield playing back on the lip.
Double play depth. I think we got one out. That terrific play by the left fielder, gunning down the runner, going from second to third.
And there's a breaking pitch on the outside for a ball. And again, we've got every major league team represented here. And for those watching, there's a break in the action, as the rules for today is they are keeping an eye on the pitch count. At a certain point, pitchers hit the pitch count, and there's a change over in the action regardless if there's 3 outs. Again, this is for precautions to the pitchers and to ensure that everybody gets seen by our major league scouts. So some break in the regular rules of baseball.
Good point, Jerry. And I think for the fans at home, the idea here is for the kids to get all their reps. There's always some bragging rights, and nobody ever wants to lose in any sporting event. But the main focus is here for the pitchers to get their work in, not too much work. All the kids are going to get to have their at-bats. They have a nice schedule rotation for the pitchers, and they're also going to adhere to a time limit. So it's all meant so each of the 90 kids is going to get their shot, so to speak. Got a right-handed pitcher, Oscar Syrian, for the blue team. And Oscar is from
So as we have a break in the action here, we're going to have an interview here for the man that makes all this possible for Major League Baseball in Europe. And bear us for 1 second here. So welcome, and he's here to the booth.
Dan Bonanno from Major League Baseball.
And Dan, on behalf of the British baseball community, I can't say enough about your efforts here. You've done a fantastic job of bringing this tournament here. Gathering the logistics of 90 players is never easy, let alone the efforts and promise that you've done for this field is just enormous. You should be very proud, as we are proud of you.
Well, thanks. We really appreciate it. And, you know, as we talked about all week, you know, we're so happy that we were finally able to come here and you know, run the tournament. But in order to do it, we need local support. And in order for us to do anything anywhere, we need solid support, and we've had it here.
Well, it's fantastic, great news to hear. This is one of many tournaments that you've been experiencing over the years. How many tournaments have you done?
Oh, we've done quite a few over the years. It's been probably, I've been with Major League Baseball now for 19 years in Europe, and we have probably 5 or 6 tournaments like this every year for different categories.
And you're based where?
I'm based in Italy. I live near Rimini in the northeast corner of Italy.
So all year round, you're participating in development projects for Major League Baseball, setting up tournaments like this, only in Europe or other parts of the world?
Well, we do quite a bit of work we used to do quite a bit of work in South Africa, but mainly we concentrate on in Europe. But we also have a program for this age group that we take them to Arizona for a college tour in the fall.
And how does the selection process work for these players?
Well, we have, you know, we have collaboration with all the European academies. We have our local contacts in every country, and we collaborate with them.
Great.
To find, you know, their players, and we have our staff here as well. So we have people who are roving around Europe, and you know, they'll take notes, and we, you know, consult with the scouts, and so we try to be as accurate as possible with the talent.
So what happens from here after this tournament is ending?
Well, we have a camp for cadets, the 13 to 15-year-old age group in Italy, in Ronchi de Legionari, and then we have a camp in Regensburg. We also have a camp in Kutno, Poland.
Great. And 13 countries here are represented. Other countries that you see promise joining maybe next year?
Pardon me, can you say that again?
Other countries that may be joining this type of experience?
Yeah, you know, Jerry, we really are open to anyone. So we've done some research in the Eastern Bloc countries. We're doing a few things in the Ukraine. We have a contact in Russia, and hopefully we'll be able to, expand this and include more international players.
So will you be staying for the London series?
Yes, yeah, we are.
So you big Red Sox or Yankees fan?
I'm a Cub fan. We just have a Boston Red Sox scout right here, just walked by, and we like Boston, but not that much.
Oh, I hope that scout. We're gonna have to bring that scout over here, huh? But please, it's always great to have somebody from MLB. And Dan, on behalf of the British Baseball Federation, I cannot say enough for your efforts. We really appreciate everything you've done. These 90 kids, bringing them all over here to showcase what Major League Baseball is, to the promise of developing baseball in Europe. A lot of credit goes for you, MLB, and everybody else involved. So you should be very proud for your efforts, as we're proud of you.
We are. We shout out to all the local people that helped us. We can't do it. We could never do this unless we had solid local support. And we thank the British Baseball Federation. We thank BSUK. We thank all the local people here at Farnham. And, we're really looking forward to coming back again. And we really appreciate you having us.
Great, Dan. And from us at BBF, we're sure we'll see you again.
Absolutely, yes. Thanks a lot.
Great. And we have a special guest here from the Boston Red Sox here. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Renee Sajadi. I run the European operations for the Boston Red Sox.
So you are a scout, as I understand.
Yes.
And this is your first travel to the United Kingdom?
No, I actually came to university here. I came to college. I'm a Warwick University graduate. But for scouting purposes, it is actually, yes.
Fair enough. And tell me a little bit about, what you're looking for as a scout, aside from the showcase of all these 90 athletes, to basically identify them for this year, next year, or what?
Yeah, for the coming years, and what we're looking for basically is raw talent, because obviously we're trying to project what the kids could be when they turn 23, 24, when they are, when their ages are appropriate for the big leagues. So we're kind of looking into a crystal ball here, but we're looking for the best athletes, the most projectable tools. So guys who show promise, essentially, not necessarily the best guys today on the field, but the guys who we expect to be the best in 5 or 6 years' time.
So have you always been a Red Sox fan, or that the whispers were you were Yankees, and then all of a sudden you went to Warwick, then you converted over? What brought you over to the Red Sox?
I was always a Red Sox fan. I got to say, I started my career somewhere else. I started with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but obviously when the offer from the Red Sox came through, I was delighted. It was the best offer I got, and it was from my childhood team, so I really didn't have to think too much about it.
And you're going to be here for the London series?
I will not, actually. I am leaving tomorrow because we have to go take a look at other events. We have to go elsewhere, and the whole team is going to be here with the whole front office, so they'll take care of the London series. They don't really need me.
And tell me a little bit about the Red Sox plans internationally. Are they looking for expanding into other geographical regions, not only in Europe, to find the next $1 million arm?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I think we have a really good coverage. I think we're the organization with the most international scouts in the world. There's not a single area of the world that is left unscouted by us. So we're in every region, and we keep hiring people, so we keep expanding because you can never have enough scouts. In fact, you don't want to leave diamonds in the rough uncovered. But I got to say, we are pretty happy with the job we're doing, and we're trying to pluck the best talent out of every region.
And what have you found here for the last 2 days?
I think there's some really interesting talent all around here. It's pretty compressed, this event, within 2 or 3 days, so pitchers are not really throwing anything more than 3 innings, and the players are having just 7 or 8 at-bats against pitchers they've never seen, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. That being said, I think there are some interesting players. I would say that there are at least 5 or 6 who are going to sign eventually out of this event, possibly even more. And, I just have a hunch that there might be 1 or 2 future major leaguers here. Why not?
Wow, that's been fantastic. Thank you very much. From us at the British Baseball Federation, we can't tell you enough of having the New York Yankees and, yes, the Boston Red Sox. We did an informal survey earlier in the week, and we found that there's more Boston Red Sox fans here in the UK. However, when it comes to merchandise, Yankees take you 2-1.
Okay, we can live with that as long as there are more enlightened people than.
Fair enough.
Not.
Again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your stay here in London.
Thank you for having me.
How about that, huh, folks? Boston Red Sox scout. I had a quick conversation with Dan from MLB, and I just said, in a tournament like this, where you've got some real top flight prospects, and as our scout from the Red Sox informed us, that 4, 5, 6 kids will likely get signed out of this camp. There's a lot of other kids who are not at that level, but who at the same time are player development guys, and the structure of this tournament is allowing the good guys to excel and the younger players to improve, and it's all being done under the same platform. So in that respect, I'm very impressed with the event, and I got to give some kudos to MLB for setting the tone and making it a fun event. So back on the hill, number 21, Oscar Tucci, the Italian fella. Nice curveball, smooth mechanics, decent velocity. As we head into the top of the second with the score 0-0. Funny, we had a real pitcher's duel until the 6th or 7th inning. I think as the game went on, the batters kind of warmed up as it just had more at-bats. One of the points that the Red Sox scout made was that with only 7 or 8 at-bats and 2 or 3 innings pitched, the sample size is quite small, but at the same time, the indications are quite positive that the talent is here. Up for the blue team, right-hander number 4, Marcel Marriott. Marcel, as he takes the first pitch, one hopper to the shortstop, strong arm, nice job. 6-3 put out. An Austrian infielder. Up next for the Blues, number 48, to face Oscar Tucci. A young British lad, Ollie Thompson. Big wide stance, DiMaggio-esque in the way he approaches the plate. Takes the ball a little high, a fastball.
Ollie Thompson, the journeyman here, started at 16, baseball, and has progressed and plays now in the United States in a JUCO Division I school. He's just been a fantastic face and player for the British Baseball Federation as he plays on our under-23 national team. Ollie Thompson, great promise, good at-bat here. Let's see what we have. Like Anthony said, good stature, big kid, good power to the gap, above average arm. So we're really looking forward to seeing Ollie showcase the best of British baseball.
No, 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's see what the lefty deals to him here. Good pitch, low fastball, good swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Okay, Ollie's got to think a little defensive here. Foul a ball off if he needs to. Try and put a ball left or right through the infielders, get a base hit, get on base if he can. Little low. Oh, we got rung up. Okay. Check swing, foul ball strike. The catcher appeals to the umpire at first base with the right-handed batter, and Ollie strikes out in his first at-bat. Next up, number 23 for the Blues, Finn Bergman.
So there's a check swing for a strike.
Finn Bergman, 6'1", 177 pounds, German utility infielder. Looks good at the plate, Jerry.
And our pitcher winding up, and there's a pitch in the dirt with a breaking pitch. And again, all the pitchers are being counted. When they get to their max, there'll be a break in the action regardless if it's 3 outs. This is for safety of the players' arms as they return back to their home clubs and have to play. A lot of them will be breaking away tonight, returning back to their 13 countries. and resuming play on Saturday and Sunday.
And you know, Jerry, they've got European champions coming up. They've got club championships and seasons coming up. They've got different showcase tournaments for themselves. So they want to get some exposure here, but they don't want to overuse them here.
And going back to the action, there's a good pop in the glove on that fastball for a ball. And as we look at the infield, they're playing back on the lip. Outfield, straightaway center, about 375 feet. Outfielders in right and left were about 275. There's a big swing for strike number 3.
This young Italian lefty's got some moxie there, Jerry. That was a good curveball to close out the inning. His stuff looked pretty tough today. Well done. Nice inning. Jerry, as we head into the next inning, tell me a little bit about the BBF, and I know you've been the president now for how long?
Third year going into it. Thank you very much. Again, for those of you not aware, the British Baseball Federation is a national governing body here in the UK. We oversee over 1,500 active players and another 300 to 400 youth players. We're the largest organized, we run the largest organized leagues for Britain, where we have 4 divisions. We have the MBL, we have AAA, AA, Single A, and then we have our championships in August as well as September, followed by our youth national championships. We also run our national program, which is GB Baseball. We have 5 teams competing on the continent, and with Olympics coming, we are really happy to start our quest in September to qualify for the Olympics. Our coach today on the fields is Will Lintern. He's the under-18 coach, and he'll be competing with our team under-18s in Sweden. And then in September, our other coach, which is on the other side, is Liam Carroll. Liam Carroll's been in British baseball now for 24 years, and he's been given the assignment to take us to the highest level. So we're very happy, and thank you very much, Anthony, for your participation in today's broadcast.
No, you're welcome, and congratulations. You know, the BBF is coming a long way, and you deserve the credit for doing that. And I know you're working hard and trying to be as inclusive as possible, and it resonates, Jerry, so well done.
I appreciate it, but, you know, it's a organization that's made up of 30 clubs. They really deserve all the credit, and my colleagues on our board. You know, you got some professionals that put in some long hours. For those of you that don't know, the BBF is 100% self-funded. It's one of the very few or only NGBs of the sport in the United Kingdom. There's 30 NGBs across Europe which are baseball related. They get public funding. However, the BBF doesn't, and they're able to put all of that in. And again, all the credit to my colleagues that have done an excellent job. But, you know, British baseball here, 30 baseball clubs, which basically it's one generation to the next for over 200 years. They're the grassroots suggestion to develop the sport, and enough can't be said about them.
Outstanding, Jerry. Thank you. So our friend, Mr. Jiminian from France, is up against perhaps what the scouts here are calling one of the good potential major league bodies in camp. This is Paul Schmidt, the tall right-hander on the mound. 6'7", gets a ground ball up the middle.
Nice play by the shortstop, and he's going to throw over to first base, but he pulls the first baseman off. Great movement over to left, and able to field that was the big surprise.
You know what, despite not being able to make the out, it wasn't hard contact, but a great athlete in that young Frenchman standing on first base.
And yeah, returning back to the action here, we got a runner at first base. Our pitcher in the set position, holding the runner on, taking in the sign.
So Mr. Schmidt stands 6'7", so he must be 7'2", 7'3", when he's standing in the batter's box.
And with the distance from the back of the plate all the way to the rubber, 60 feet 6 inches, with that big stride, he's definitely cutting the angle to the distance of throwing the ball over for a strike. So by the time he gets, there's a pitch, and there's an attempted steal, head first, and he's safe as the ball gets away from the catcher.
It's amazing how competitive this is, Jerry. So you got a big, tall pitcher, 6'7". He's got long arms. It takes him a little while to unwind himself, getting to home plate. First first base runner if they're stealing on him.
One of the rules of baseball is you always cut the distance. With a 6'7" pitcher, by the time he strides, he's basically taking 7 feet off of the distance of 60, and that pitch is coming a little bit faster than usual.
No, he can throw some heat. He's pushing the MPH up to close to 90 miles an hour. So the batters are going to have, provided he can control it, the batters are going to have a lot to deal with.
And what we're noticing right here, the runner at second base, a lot of separation from that third baseman over at the hot corner. Let's hope he gets there in time, as we've got the base runner looking down, thinking about stealing.
Now Leo Backstrom, the big-bodied Swedish catcher, is up at the plate.
And there's a base hit.
Gets one.
And the runner at second is going to attempt play at the plate, and he is safe as the ball gets away from the catcher. But a nice backup from our pitcher. However, our hitter advances to second base.
To be fair, if that ball was on target, there might have been a chance for a play there. It was close, but good hustle by the young Frenchman, Jiminian. And, okay, there's a run on the board now. Runner on second. Mr. Schmidt's got to bear down.
And there was a good replay, and there's a replay of the action. And if you look at the third base coach here, one of the rules of the third base coach is when the ball's hit to the outfield, if the outfielder still does not have possession when the base runner touches third base, you send them. If he receives the ball or catches the ball before the runner gets to third, then you hold him. And there's a perfect example as he rounded the base and the outfielder still had no possession, and he was sent by the third base coach.
Exactly right, Jerry.
And there's a pitch down the middle for a strike, and we've got again another situation here. Runner at second base, our pitcher taking a good look, middle infield communicating.
Now, sometimes it takes a pitcher 5 or 10 pitches to get warmed up, and we're going to see if that's going to be the case with Mr. Schmidt here.
There's a nice changeup by our pitcher here.
Agree.
And again, pitch selection. It's not necessarily how fast you throw it, but how well you take the balance off of the batter. As these batters all have a great athletic stamp, but as a pitcher, it's more than trying to blow the ball past you. Here's a great breaking pitch.
I'll tell you what, Jerry, you see a pitcher with the amount of, who could bring heat like that to be able to command an off-speed pitch. I'll tell you what, it's a big deal. That shows a lot of poise on the mound. Well done.
And our next batter here, I believe he played earlier today.
Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump's a middle infielder. He played second base last game. He's a tough out at the plate from what we've seen. Nice kid, too. I met him on the burger line.
And there's a ball low and outside for ball number 1. So our observations here of the infield playing back in the third baseman. At least 15, 17 feet away from third base. That's a long distance to cover if attempted to steal at third.
Yeah, they're not necessarily protecting against the steal, are they?
No, it doesn't seem that way.
And you think this early in the game you could play a little bit more aggressive defensively. We'll see what the Grays have in mind here.
So as you could look at the action there on the pitcher, leaning a little bit over, taking in the sign, quick little look over at second base, and there's a pitch.
Very close. So, Jerry, if you could look into your crystal ball and could look 2 or 3 years ahead, where would you like the BBF to be?
British Baseball Federation, as we grow, I mean, one of the big parts is our national team. That's a big baseline for the proudness of the program. Effectively, we now have 5 teams. Our ranking worldwide is 38. We get no public funding. We'd like to see that ranking increase over the next 2-3 years. We had a great turnout for our under 12 team in March. We believe that this MLB London series will resonate throughout the country. We'll get more kids involved. Participation will grow. The BBF will be there to support all our efforts.
Congratulations and best of luck. I know you and I have discussed this at length, and it all starts with the kids. And the more kids you have playing, as they grow, you wind up with the best cadets, the best Team GB players. And we have a good growing program, and let's all the best and continuing to help that succeed.
Great, and there's a foul ball over to the right side. And again, you know, we got 30 clubs of volunteers, and it resonates throughout Europe and the world. Baseball has to start at the grassroots levels with the volunteers. You get people that are committed and willing to sacrifice, which they do. You have strong baseball programs. And these countries are represented here. For example, you've got Germany, you've got Czech Republic, Spain, Italy, all a testament.
Zan Primovic from Slovenia is at the plate now. So, and he's the lone representative of that country, and it's fantastic that he's here, and fantastic that MLB has been inclusive enough to bring the talent here. So, just a feel-good moment for me, Ed.
That's great to know, and again, enough can't be said about MLB's efforts with this tournament throughout the week and leading up to the London Series. And that's a strike. Our pitcher here throwing good combination of off-speed pitches, fastball, breaking pitch.
Yes, he's got a little work to do to get out of this inning. The stuff is there. He just hasn't been able to put the right sequencing to it.
And big adjustment there from our third baseman as he now is creeping up on the baseline, posted being 15 feet apart. And we now have bases loaded here with number 23 coming up.
It's a funny thing with sometimes the pitching coaches scratch their head with tall pitchers in that the taller they are, the angles, the geometry of getting your hips in the right spot and your plant foot down and your elbow and your arm slot in the right place. Because with the increased body length, sometimes it gets harder and harder to reproduce that.
And coming back to the action, there's our pitcher looking in for the sign and throwing the ball down the middle for strike number 1.
Marco Ubelli from Italy up here with runners bases loaded.
And statistically speaking, when the pitcher gets the first ball over for a strike and the ball gets away from our catcher, we're going to give him a pass ball on that. That's going to score a run.
Catcher bangs his mitt. He knows that's one of those glove mistakes where he's got to be recognized that he needs to turn his glove and move into blocking position with that. But that's a teachable moment, Jerry.
Yep, team great. 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. And there's our pitch. That's a strike.
Kudos to Mr. Schmidt for being able to get that strike after a pass ball. Well done.
And we see the infield playing in. So there could be a play to plate if there's a ground ball to any of the infielders here. Nice breaking pitch here, a little bit high. For the ball.
Look close.
So our other coach playing it safe by trying to prevent a run from scoring if it's hit into the infield. That's another ball low and outside.
It's tricky now because one can say you don't have to worry too much about walking the guy because there's a base empty at first, and yet you want to get the out. It's early in the game.
There's a big swing by our batter for strike number 3 and an out, bringing up number 13. And basically we've hit the cap of our pitch count, which makes there's an automatic change.
So when they get back to the dugout, when the coaches start to talk about Paul Schmidt's outing, they're going to say, well, you had some frustration, some hits, some this or that, but your last pitch, for instance, was a high-quality pitch. If you can learn to repeat that, then the sky's the limit for you.
Great, and returning back to this in-between innings, you have our 3 umpires out there. They've done a great job all day, and a lot of compliments for them, as well as for our broadcasting booth.
We had to do a little bit of jockeying to make sure that, because we're all online to get burgers and snacks between games, and one of the players who wasn't going to play in this game, he gave his burger slip to the umpire so the umpire could get to the game, and he got some extra french fries and reply. So folks, we're all working, pulling the oars on the same of the boat the same way here. Everybody's on the same team.
That's a fantastic example of great sportsmanship and foresight, as I believe he got a walk in the last at-bat.
Yes, exactly.
So again, returning back to lovely Farnham Park, we have a cool, beautiful day here. Temperatures now around 22, sun coming down somewhat, nice breeze pickup. However, it's blowing out to center field, so we may have some long balls today.
Well, Jerry, So far the hitters they've hit a couple deep today. Mostly the wind has kept them in, but the wind's picked up for game 2. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, third inning for the pitcher Oscar Tucci, and by the way, he has pitched phenomenal. Strong lefty, lots of guile, and can throw 3 pitches. Up for the Blues, number 12, Fabian Kovacs.
And returning back to the action here.
Fabian Kovacs, French catcher, 5'11", 192, strong kid, good athlete.
And the infield position themselves in a little bit from the lip. Outfield again playing around 275 from left to right. Let's see what kind of combination pitch we're going to have here from our catcher. There's a foul ball.
I have to be honest, your social media poll, Red Sox versus Yankees, I'm an Angels fan, so I'm neutral. I would be surprised. I'm going to bet you a soda pop that at the game tomorrow, the Yankees get more cheers than the Red Sox.
Soda pop. Anthony digging deep into those deep pockets here.
You know, when it comes to wagers with you, Jerry, expenses don't matter.
So over 13 countries represented during this MLB Elite Baseball Tournament. A lot of credit goes to MLB for organizing the logistics. Never an easy endeavor. And there's a ground ball over to the left side of the third baseman. Makes an incredible stab and comes up firing for a ball that bounces in front of the first baseman, which is able to scoop it up and get the out. Let's see the replay on that.
Here we go. Here's the pitch. Hot shot to third. Good swing. Dig, 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 dig. And here comes the throw. Look at that stretch by the first baseman. Very nice. High quality play, ladies and gentlemen.
So here we go. Batter number 17 coming up from our pitcher, our lefty.
Thomas Canuti is up for the Blues. He's a 16-year-old, so he's one of the younger guys here. And he's up against a 19, 20-year-old good, strong left-hander.
That's great. Returning back to the action here. Here's low and outside. Good movement on a pitcher. Throwing the ball with 2 seams. Little pressure points on one of the fingers, and it's creating a little bit of a running fastball.
Canuti, a 16-year-old utility infielder from Italy, probably getting his first lick against competition like this. And
a great breaking pitch that gets away from the catcher. However, he's to recover, gets in on the foul side of the lane, throws it over to first base, which is bounced in. However, our first baseman doing 2 great plays back to back.
Amazing. And you know what? I'm so impressed with the footwork of the gray team catcher and being able to get that ball to the foul side, using his legs, using his body, his waist, his pivot to get the ball, to get his body in the right spot to make a safe throw.
There's a foul ball on the first pitch. And statistically, when you get a first strike on the batter,
absolutely,
the pitcher usually wins the battle. So let's see if statistics play a part here.
Another Austrian, Konstantin Tuffel, Austrian, number 18 for the Blues.
And there's a ground ball to deep short. Our shortstop picks it up and throws. However, our batter beats it out down the line, and the scouts timing them.
That's good hustle. Now, Konstantin is primarily a pitcher, but here's where we get these scouts talk about having good athletes, multi-tool players. Here's a guy who spent a lot of time throwing the ball, but he's also getting some at-bats, and he's learning how to play the game, and he'll get to his natural position.
So we've got a runner at first base with a left-handed pitcher. Going to hold on the base runner close to first. Looking in for the sign and the pitch.
Tyrek Kemp batting. He's the leadoff batter for the Blues.
Low and outside here for ball number 1.
The scouting is smooth at any position, and he can play anywhere. Loves the game.
So it looks like our official score keeper gave the last batter a hit in the hole.
Yeah, I think that's justified.
Here's high and inside for a ball.
funny. That ball was hit funny, so you had to backhand it. You couldn't really charge it with the backhand, and it wasn't hit quite hard enough to backhand and throw the runner out. So just one of those timing games.
And there's another ball. And again, a big kudos here to our broadcasting team from 247.TV, live on demand. Fantastic coverage, and we can't be appreciative enough.
No, they've been great. And so far this game, they're yelling at us a lot less. So I think that's a good thing, Jerry.
I'll tell you what, our coverage in there starts from the man himself, Adrian, which is converted over to love baseball.
Thierry Kemp, the batter, is a young Dutchman, facing a pretty strong lefty here from Mr. Tucci. Runner on first.
And there's the pitch, high and inside for ball number 4. So we've got runners at first and second with our batter coming up. So here we go, number 47 coming up to bat.
47 for the Blues. Malzahn, college player from the U.S. Big kid, plenty of power.
There's for a ball.
Another Frenchman. I think there must be 10 or 12. I'm going to count it up when I get a moment here, but I think we have 10 or 12 Frenchmen here.
And
all playing good level.
And interesting here, the runner at second base looking down at third base, and our third baseman really playing back. At least 17 feet from third base, taking a little bit of a creep step. So we may see a steal here at third.
Keep an eye on that. We have a pitcher that's not using a slide step. The last couple of pitches, he's opening up a little bit. He's overthrowing a touch. He's going to have to fight it. Keep his poise, get the out.
That's a ball low and inside.
What the defense is hoping for is a ground ball, turn 2, and then you don't mind if you wind up with a runner at third in that situation.
As we return back to the action, there's a windup and a pitch. That's ball number 4, which loads up the bases here for our next batter.
You know, Jared, the old adage, the best pitch in baseball, strike one. And that's what Mr. Tucci could use right now.
So here we go, bases loaded. Let's see if our pitcher goes to the windup or to a set position. He goes to a set position. And a pitch. There's a foul ball.
It was on that. Got to be very careful here if you're if you're the gray team. You just got to let it run, but don't give up too much.
So we return back to the action here, and our batter with bases loaded.
That's a nice pitch.
A nice pitch for a strike. You're right, Anthony. And as we look around, we see the base runners with a runner at first, a runner at third, with gloves in their hands. And a lot of people ask, why do they hold their gloves in their hands? One of the reasons being,
nice pitch.
there's strike number 3 for third out. They hold gloves in their hands, so they keep their hands closed when they slide into the bases. Hopefully no one steps on an open hand or finger breaks it this way by having a fist. It alleviates or mitigates that risk. So a little bit of a baseball insight there.
Terrific. Well, that was a good 3 innings by our friend Mr. Tucci. That was a real nice 3-inning set and showed the poise and the class to get out of the inning. So that was a big deal.
So bottom of the third here at the MLB European Elite Development Tournament with 90 representatives of 13 different countries playing here. Team Blue, game 2, 0. Team Gray, 2.
Okay, we got the big German on the hill warming up again. Plenty of good stuff. Let a couple of runs sneak across last inning, but he'll have forgotten about that. They'll just tell him to keep working on your repertoire of pitches and throw strikes. for the Grays. Looks like you have number 40, number 20, number 13, and number 46 all swinging the bat. Number 13 is leading off, Darnell Collins. He's got a brother in the Royal system, Darnell does, and coaches are high on him. Multi-tool athlete, loves the game of baseball.
So returning back to the action here, we've got our left-handed batter facing our pitcher from Germany.
Kicks and deals, a little low.
Ball number 1.
On deck for the Grays, number 20, Votek Mincic.
Yeah, that's a low ball, but batter swings for a strike, so we've got 1-1. And our pitcher having a deceptive move up there, but he's basically in a set position right from the start. There's a breaking pitch for a ball. What was that?
That was a ball. Oh, sorry, that was a strike. And the batter knew it, just put his head down and said, I'll get the next one.
Here's ball in the outside corner.
Nice pitch.
Swing, the ball goes in the dirt, but our catcher does a fantastic job of blocking it, tags the batter, and there's an out.
Now this batter here, Votek Mincic, he's a Czech boy, plays for North Carolina State, and some of the coaches here consider him to be maybe the best or one of the top 5 players here today. So look, this is going to be a nice matchup.
Here's the strike.
Looked like he started them off with the changeup on that. That was deceptive.
Turning back to the action after the first pitch. See what kind of combination we have here. There's a curveball for a strike.
So folks at home, no balls, 2 strikes against a very good player. Now you can control the narrative. You can throw a pitch out of the strike zone. You can try and force the hitter to make a bad decision.
Breaking pitch in the dirt for ball number 2.
A lot of these pitchers like to move the ball vertical up and down the strike zone as opposed to horizontally. It's harder for the eyes to adjust to that.
Foul ball. So we got 2-2, 2 deuces.
So with an 0-2 count, the pitcher throws a spinner in the dirt, comes back with a fastball, trying to, and hats off to the batter to get a little piece of that.
And here we go for the pitch. That's ball in the outside corner, so it's a full count here on our batter number 20. Facing our German pitcher,
Paul Schmidt.
Mr. Schmidt getting ready for the windup. So my mistake here was 22 on that last count, not full count, and it's now a full count.
I don't know what we're going to do with you, Jerry. You know.
Sorry, you're going to have to start that broadcasting warm-up guy in the bullpen, and I think Anthony's actually reaching for the phone.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Nice
There's
play.
a ball down the left side, and it's a fair ball.
Let's see the wheels here.
Batter's going to second base. He easily gets to 2.
Stand-up double, and here's baseball at its finest. Pitcher controls the narrative at 0-2. He gets to 3-2. He throws a good pitch. Ball gets hit, just happened to be hit where the defender wasn't. Good quality pitch, not the result he wanted.
So returning back to the action here, we have a runner at second, and we have number 46.
Yes, part of the duo, the famous Zelenka brothers from the Czech Republic. This would be the catcher. RBI situation with a man on second. Ooh, big pitch and a big swing. Zelenka was going for the fences on that one, Jared.
You are correct. That was a big breeze we felt out here in the broadcasting booth. There's a breaking pitch for a ball. And the windup and the pitch. There's a foul ball back to the backstop.
Lifted the eyesight on that a little bit, and Zelenka didn't miss by much. All right, Zelenka digs in. Schmidt gets the sign. Runner goes.
And there's the ground ball back to the pitcher.
Yeah.
Runner at second trying to advance, and he's going to try to go home, and the play at the plate is, he is safe. Let's go to that replay.
Now, I think you're going to see here that the first baseman double pumps to make sure he's got the right grip on the ball, and that's what allows the runner to score.
That runner at
And he
third
goes.
slows down and then accelerates, and there's the play, and easily gets underneath the tag.
Wasn't a bad throw, but I like that aggressive base running, right? You could beat people. They always say in sports that speed kills. Speed can come in many forms, but you know, it never quits with your legs, yeah?
And there's a foul ball to the right side.
Edgar Rodriguez for the Grays up now. Spanish infielder. Tall kid, 6'3", lean, 175. Used to weigh 175, right, Jerry?
Long time ago, Anthony.
Me too.
And the pitch.
Nice
and
pitch.
there's strike three.
Got him looking.
Great combination there by Mr. Schmidt.
The batter would like to have that one back. Well, one run across, and they get out of the inning. So, not bad.
So to return back to the action in between innings here, we're going to be panning the fields. We're going near the dugout. Change over here from our great team taking the field.
Tall righty approaching the mound. Patrick Harrison for the Grays.
And with the top of the fourth coming up, we've got Team Blue 0, Team Gray 3. At the MLB European Elite Development Tournament, brought to you by the British Baseball Federation, a national governing body of baseball in Great Britain. As the NGB of the sport, it oversees over 2,000 participants from youth to senior baseball and our national team program.
Oh, the national team program is competitive. They've got a lot of nice kids in that program, and I think it's getting better all the time.
Thank you, Anthony. And a lot of hard work from the coaches and our national team program official, Jason Pierce, which just joined us last December, has done a great job of changing the feel and look of the team, but more importantly, the culture. We've retained some coaches over the years, Liam Carroll, Will Lintern. We've added some new coaches, and everybody's blending right. There's a lot of investment into the program still to come. We're really proud of everybody's efforts, and we look forward to starting to compete in 1 week's time with our under-12s headed to Czech, followed by our under-18s up in Sweden, then moving on to our under-23s competing in August, and last but not least, our seniors team as they move on and play in Germany to advance to the next level and hopefully qualify for the Tokyo Olympics.
Now, Jerry, we talked about the famous Zelenka brothers from the Czech Republic, but the Germans are countering with the Harrison brothers. There's Mark and Patrick here today, and Patrick is taking the mound. 6'6", 185 right-hander. He's going to lead off the Grays here in the top of the fourth. Let's see how he does.
And the pitch.
Plenty of juice on that fastball.
And our pitcher here, Anthony?
Patrick Harrison. Comes from Germany. Has a brother on the roster.
From Mr. Schmidt to Mr. Harrison, all over 6 footers.
And Marcel Marriott is up for the Blues. Marcel, first time we called his name today.
The pitch.
Another Austrian lad. Good cut.
Foul ball. Our infield. Middle of field. Infield playing deep in the lip. Third baseman between the lip and third base, as well as our first baseman. Our outfield playing around 275 from left, center, and right.
Tough. Tried to spin a curveball on that one. Didn't quite get on top of it enough. I was going to have to take a breath and adjust. Nice.
There's a breaking pitch.
Wow, that was terrific. A young Austrian batter wasn't too happy with that, but in fairness, it was a strike.
And very impressive for the scouts in attendance. We have the Major League scouts from every club here at Farnham Park in the United Kingdom.
Ollie Thompson back in play, the right-hander. Started playing baseball only when he's 16. Tremendous leaps and strides.
Big stride in the batter's box. Tall bat, well balanced, and a great eye. There's ball number 1, low in the dirt. So, Ollie Thompson from Great Britain, national team under 23. Progressing over the years and making his country, his coaches, and his family very proud as he's moved on to play in the United States at JUCO University, junior college that is, and being able to progress over to the Junior College World Series where they were runner-up. Just a great experience in his first year over to the United States.
No, he's a great kid, and a couple of years back he was teaching some outfield skills to some of the younger kids, my son and a team of 14-year-olds. Great kid, polished player, picking up the game so quickly, and a good role model.
There's the ball on the inside corner. And again, it's not necessarily just the skill that is impressive, it's the character, the maturity of these players.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, these players are here obviously to progress the game of baseball, but as you might imagine, Ollie walks the walk. Well done. That it's the life skills that come with it, which is poise and being a gentleman and taking some good with the bad and all of those things that you look for in young people. They're also developing those skills, and Ollie's one of those kids who's doing that on the field day in, day out, and it helps everyone else around him.
And there's a ball. So Ollie Thompson over at first base. Pitcher trying to hold him on.
Finn Bergman, the right-hander, up.
Small little toss over. And fundamentally, you notice the third baseman backing up the throw back to the pitcher. Again, all these players well coached on all the basics.
Nice pitch. Plenty of velocity on that. Nice and low in the strike zone. Good job by the hitter to get a piece of that, but that wasn't easy. Finn Bergman, one of the Swedish contingent, if I'm not mistaken.
There's a throw over to first to keep Ollie nice and close. It's Ollie Thompson's about 6'3", so
I take it back. Long strides. I take it back. Finn's a German lad.
Okay.
I know you're getting a little excited about Ingrid Bergman, but that was a long time ago. So Mr. Harrison showing some moxie on the mound. Tall guy, got some plenty of velocity to it, but can spin a curve when he needs to. Nice combination.
Here's Ollie Thompson taking a huge lead off at first base, and the ball's getting away. Ollie standing up, coming into second base, rounding it. Our catcher retrieves it, and is calling for a quick little powwow at the mound. There must have been a cross-up there on the pitches.
Yep, and for those at home, a cross-up is if the catcher thinks he's getting a fastball and he gets a curveball, or vice versa. Sometimes his glove's in the wrong spot, and the level that these young men are playing at with the velocity the ball's coming at, not that easy. You have to know where the pitch is coming to be able to catch it. So he'll go out and straighten out the signs. Everybody gets on the same page, and here we go.
And back to the action here. There's a ball on the outside corner which bounces in. However, the catcher does a nice stop with a backhand, preventing the runner at second to advance to third. We've got one out.
Good off-speed pitch there.
Fooling a little bit, a late swing by our batter, which grounds the ball down the left-hand side.
I call that moxie, Jerry. That's moxie on the mound. Think you're getting a fastball. Here's a spinner. Get it if you can. That's strike 2.
And the pitch. And there's a pop-up.
Let him dive,
Over to
Jerry,
the dugout,
dive,
but-
dive.
Left side out of play.
My son's down to doing some of the groundskeeping at the for the London series down at the stadium. He says there's plenty of netting up for these foul balls. They're going to be extra careful with that.
And the pitch. Ball's in the dirt. Catcher doing a nice blocking.
Yeah. And for you folks at home, the catcher calls the ball that way. He's moving that way, expects it that way, and then uses his body to keep the ball in front of him. That's when the pitcher and the catcher are on the same page. You know, sometimes you want to throw the ball out of the strike zone. You know, it's a complicated strategy sometimes.
And returning back to the action here, runner at second base, and there's a ball on the outside corner for ball 4, which puts runners at first and second. And our next batter coming up for the blue team is number 12. So deferring here to Anthony with the big roster.
I'm back with the Jerry.
And there is a strike on the outside corner.
Number 12, Fabian Kovacs.
Fabian Kovacs, what a great baseball
That's a
name.
great
Fabian
name.
Kovacs coming up to bat number 12.
He hails from France with the exceptionally cool name.
And there's a ground ball to the shortstop, which
Nice play.
turns
There's
it over
one.
to the second. They pivot, try a double play. However, it's a one bouncer that gets away from the first baseman, which allows the runner at second to round third and score.
Ollie Thompson scoring the first run for the Blues today. Nice job.
How about that? Our own GB national team player, Ollie Thompson.
Ground ball to short, smooth play to second. Second baseman puts it in the ground. It happens. First baseman's got to come off the bag and stop that ball.
And if we turn back to the action, we've got Ollie Thompson over at, we've got a runner at first base. And number 17 coming up to bat, taking the first pitch for a ball.
Thomas Canuti, our old friend Thomas Canuti, number 17.
There's nothing Canuti cannot do.
Well said. One of the large Italian contingents that's here today. I think they're the second most represented country. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the Swedish kids. I'm impressed with the German kids. That young Slovenian guy who got up in the last game, incredible, Jerry. The talent is what talent is.
And returning back to the action here. We have a runner at first base, pitcher holding him on, and there's the pitch. Ball in the dirt, and our runner at first advancing to second base. It's Canuti. I said earlier, there's nothing Canuti cannot do.
Well, the base runner taking advantage of the drop ball. Catcher's got to catch it.
And Team Blue with 1, Team Gray with 3.
And a runner in scoring position.
And here we go with the pitch. Swing to the outside corner. Catcher blocking it. Fundamentally getting on the inside of the foul side in order to go outside of the runner's path. Throws down to first base for out number 3.
So not the cleanest of innings for Mr. Harrison, but at the same time, held it together, only let up 1 run. Nice job.
So, again, a lot of applause here for the grounds crew here at Farnham Park. Doing an exceptional job on the field. All positive comments throughout the day and these last 2 days, which makes a big difference for the experience of these players to play on a diamond that is set up for major league specifications.
So the new pitcher for the Blues, Tobias Keplar. Another one of the Australian contingents. Big kid, 6'4". Plenty of beef to put on that frame. Only 170 pounds. High leg kick.
So a little bit of a wind factor now as it's crossing the field from third base to first base.
The wind has definitely kicked up for the second game.
However, it's a nice cool breeze, which cools us down from earlier today. It got up to 27 here at Farnham Park with a strong sun effect, which brought up the temperature. I don't know about you, Anthony. It got a little bit hot there for me.
It did. I don't mind when we get the sun another 20 minutes past us, it'll be better.
We're not used to that here in Great Britain of having all the sun.
Certainly aren't.
And again, kudos to MLB for bringing in the sun to Great Britain for the London series, which happens on Saturday through Sunday. The New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. And the Boston Red Sox are going to be the home team for both games. Games starting a little bit at twilight. And they'll be broadcast all over the world, different channels from ESPN, BBC.
So Tobias Keplar, the right-handed Austrian kid, you'll see when he winds up, he really's got some interesting hip rotation, which is slightly different than some of the other pitches we've seen today. And he's up against the young Frenchman, who we've seen a couple of times today. One of the better athletes here, Leo Jimenez. If you recall, he beat out a ball down to first base, running quite well in one of the previous innings, beating an arrow throw on a hard hit ball to shortstop.
And our pitcher in the wind-up. And there is a swing and a foul ball back to the backside.
It's amazing to me. You look at this young man on the mound and you think, wow, he's got some live arm, good hips. You think he's playing baseball in Austria. I think it's fantastic.
And we return back to the action here. Our pitcher ready to pitch. And there's a ground ball to the left side, and that's a foul ball. So we return back to the action here. And I'm telling you, Anthony, this heat is getting to me. You know, it's hard to keep up.
For the viewers at home, Jerry's now getting heckled by the technical staff. I personally am enjoying it.
I'll tell you what. You know, this technical staff there, I think they came in from Texas. I'm telling you, huh? They don't know how we...
Ground ball to short by Jimenez. Hit it hard enough, booted by the shortstop. Tough play.
And like I was returning back, you know, these guys from Texas, they come into this country, try to teach us, you know, a little bit about how to hold a mic, you know, a little bit about the game, but what are you going to do, right?
That's the way it goes, Jerry, you know. Leo Bergstrom, the big Swede, up with a runner on first and no outs.
So Team Blue with 1, Team Gray with 3. And we've got runners at first.
I think the pitcher's got to be a little bit careful here because Jimenez is a rooster on the base paths. He's going to have to, don't keep an eye on him. He's going to take a base. Let's see how this plays out.
So here we return back to the action. And the pitch.
There we go.
I didn't see that. Was that a strike or a ball there, Anthony?
That was a strike, but I've got my eyes on Jimenez, and I think he's getting plenty big. I don't think they're checking him enough. They should probably throw over.
So,
there he goes.
And there's the ball to the right side, and that's a fair ball. Curving away from the right fielder.
Here he goes.
Going back to the track. The runner at first advancing past third. He's going to easily score. And we have a stand-up triple from our batter.
Well, shot. Right-handed batter. The ball's curving away from the right fielder. Right fielder hustles to it, but quite honestly, you need to make better relay throws on the angles with that, and then the relay throws need to be on target. But good job, and you set Jimenez in a loose on the base pass. He's off to the races. Federico Ricci's up now. One of the Italian lads, the runner on third base.
And there's a small ball, foul ball off his left foot, and that's got to hurt the Crows there.
That is smart.
However, with those long baseball plants, I'm sure it hurts less there, Anthony.
All you modern guys with the new, baggy pants on. I don't know how that happened.
I know you can't watch us from where you are watching this, but I've got the long modern pants, and Anthony's got the short shorts here, old school.
Here's a pitch.
And there's a high fastball for a ball.
The pitcher knew he wanted that one back. He wasn't happy with his release point.
And the coaches have brought in the infield here.
I like it.
Ball gets away, and that's going to score the runner at third easily.
Tough. Catcher's got to catch that ball. That was a fastball called low and right about where the catcher asked for it.
So that's Team Blue with 1, Team Gray with 4 at the top of the 4th. So return back to the action, and our pitcher coming up to the windup, facing still number 16.
Federico Ricci.
And that's a ball in the outside corner. So there's a strike on the outside corner.
So Mr. Kiefer here on the mound, he likes to throw from the windup. He likes better than the stretch. Still a bit young in his career, but that's something he'll have to work on.
That's ball number 4, advancing the batter over to first base. And that brings number 2 up.
Our old friend, Mr. Giandro Trump.
And the pitch. That's strike number 1.
Runner on first, taking a big lead.
There's a shot to the right fielder, which camps under it, makes it look easy. And that's an out.
I tell you, with the sun setting where it is, I think that was a harder catch than it looked like. But nice play by the right fielder to make the adjustment and hold that in. 2 down. Number 14, Zag Primozic. If I'm not mistaken, he's our Slovenian representative today.
And that ball is low and inside.
I got that one right. How about that?
How about that, huh? So got a runner at first base being held down by the pitcher. Gets into set, and
he's off.
And boy,
Nice.
he was leaning there. Oh,
Hey.
what a great
Nice.
throw by the catcher. And let me tell you, if you look at the replay there, you'll see the runner at first getting a good jump. However, our catcher did a fantastic job of gunning him down. And here's our replay.
Quick release by the catcher, stepping out. No space wasted. Moving everything towards second base, right over home plate. Nice play by the catcher. It's a big relief, Jerry, when a catcher makes a quality play like that, and you eliminate a base runner and get an out closer to the dugout. It's a big relief for the pitcher.
So returning back to the action, that's a ball. Team Blue 1, Team Gray 4. Our second game of our 2-game series here at Farnham Park, the MLB Elite European Development Tournament, with 90 athletes from across 13 different countries, all coming here to Farnham Park. as part of our MLB experience leading up to the London Series.
You know, Jerry, one of the scout for the Red Sox, he was chatting with me after your interview, and he was saying, "Oh, you guys, this game's going to be on YouTube." He's like, "Are all the games going to be on YouTube?" And I was saying, "No, but these two games are going to be." And he was thankful and said a big thanks to the BBF for that, and he was going to use it as a coaching tool, so that him and his staff, as he talked about, he's got a large scouting staff, and they're going to use part of our broadcast as a tool. And I think it's a kudos to the BBF for sponsoring this, and also it's just contributing to the game, which is nice.
You know, that's really nice to hear from the Red Sox, especially when he asked if we're Yankees fans. And when we answered yes, he said, "Just one last tip. You guys over at the BBF have the face for radio." Always a good comment there from our Red Sox fans.
Yeah, they're proud. Red Sox Nation is a proud nation. And they won last year, so they have the hearts and minds for the moment. Nice pitch.
There's strike number 3. And we have a break here in the action. And returning back here with the London Series coming to the United Kingdom. We're very proud to host the first 2 regular season games in Europe. We have over 55,000 seats to fill on Saturday and another 55,000 on Sunday. Aggregates individually, this could be the largest watched Major League game all season, as there's only one other park in the Major Leagues that comes close to the London Stadium. That's Dodger Stadium, with just under 55,000 seats.
Well, Jerry, the stadium that the fans are going to see on TV, it's going to look a little bit like the dome in St. Petersburg that the Rays play in. It's going to look a little bit like the venue that the Diamondbacks play in. It's going to look a little bit like the venue that Toronto plays in, and a little bit like the old Montreal Stadium with a lot of foul ground, which is going to create some interesting plays in foul territory. But, you know, this is West Ham's home ground. They had to lay gravel. They weren't allowed to dig holes, so the foul poles are weighted down by giant concrete steps. All the fences are padded, but they're also weighed down, very similar to how the fence was done in Sydney when they played at the Oval in Sydney a few years back. This is an entirely modular field. The turf is made in France. They're going to roll that up and store it until next year. It's really quite a work of engineering to bring all this here, and they've done a great job.
Exactly. Our gratitude to Major League Baseball for bringing the baseball experience here to Great Britain. We expect to have our counterparts in Europe represented here. And there's a shot way back to center field. And again, our center fielder is struggling with the sun, but camps underneath it and makes a routine out.
Nice long fly ball by Frank Hernandez of Spain. Remember, on the first, he wasn't happy the first time he struck out looking. They did miss it the second time. He just didn't quite get enough of it.
And again, returning back to the London Series this weekend, Boston Red Sox being the home team for the 2-game series. We know that the Yankees are in town. The Yankees bringing some Hall of Famers. Alex Rodriguez, Reggie Jackson, got even Andy Pettit out here. We expect to see more uneven management. We've got the Steinbrenner contingency. And our last report says they're somewhere up in North London.
Well, I'll tell you what, anytime the Yankees get off the plane, they bring 27, 28 championships with them, and they tend to let you know about it. So Red Sox have had a great run the last 10 years, but long way to go to catch the Yankees.
And there's a hit down to the first baseman, which is nice, makes a nice little play there. And he turns over to his left side, does the 360, runs over to first base, and just beats the fast batter. And here's the replay.
This young Dutchman is fast, hustled down the line, and almost a mix-up, a miscommunication, whether the first baseman was going to shuttle it to the pitcher. First baseman made the right choice and took it himself.
So it's return back to the action, number 47 at bat here, right-handed batter against our right-handed pitcher.
Big bat, our friend number 47, Malzahn. I must say, Jerry, some of the names of these European guys, they're not exactly like Joe Smith.
That's why I'm deferring you, Anthony.
Another one of the very strong, very highly skilled French contingent. And unlike Jiménez, who is a great athlete and a speedster from France, this gentleman, number 47, has got power.
And again, enough can't be said about our European national governing bodies, producing some of the top athletes that represent Europe throughout the year as we cross-border compete, some friendly tournaments as well as some international tournaments. We're always very proud to travel from Great Britain and to France, Germany, the Netherlands. They roll out the red carpet, and we could always expect some great competition, but that's a credit again to all these NGBs. So here's to you.
I agree, Jerry. We've all taken teams overseas and done different things over the years, and we've always been met with a lot of kindness, consideration, and good sportsmanship, and always been made to feel welcome. And I think it's a uniqueness with the blend of cultures and the tide that binds in those relationships is the game of baseball. I'd even say the great game of baseball.
So baseball
And
making a big statement here with the London series in Europe.
runner goes, high pitch, good pitch. He's out. Oh!
So we're going to have to see the replay there.
I thought he had him. Catcher got rid of it quick enough. Maybe the ball was a little shortstop side and couldn't get the tag down fast enough.
So
Well, I talked about Mr. Mall having us power, but dive, Jerry, dive.
we're waiting here for our replay from our big Texan in the booth. No replay from our big Texan in the booth, but again, it's trying to get in sync here with our broadcasting crew.
The technical guys are gone on holiday.
And all kidding aside, we can't say enough about our broadcasting teammates here as well as our camera crew, all brought to you by 24/7 TV, live on demand. There's a ball on the outside corner.
I have to say, Farnham Park looks terrific today. I mean, on a day like today with the nice weather, it's always going to look great. But Farnham now with 2 big league parks, it's ready to start hosting some major tournaments and also ready to be a participant of those tournaments. So it's going to be a fun couple of years for GB baseball.
There you go. And they did a great job with this field. Look at the grass. They brought in some seeding. So I understand they imported it in, and we're going to have to get some of that seeding. Look at this grass, huh? I'm a little bit thin up at the top. I don't know about you, Anthony, but maybe we could use that to regrow our youth.
A young Austrian, Marcel Mariante Manze.
So again, returning back to the action here, we've got runners at first and second. The infield's playing deep. Hopefully turning a double play here. And for all of those watching outside on BBF TV, we thank you for joining us. We're trying to do our best as we've got 90 players from 13 different countries all substituted in. The rules are changed a little bit from what you know, as we're guided now by the pitch count of each of one of these pitchers. After they hit their max, we move over and change sides regardless if it's 3 outs. Earlier today, we also had an interview with the MLB strength and conditioning coach, Chad Grabernost. A great, insightful interview. MLB and a lot of these countries now spending an incredible amount of resources in developing sports science, strength and conditioning, which shows a lot of these players are young, big stocky kids, very athletic. And if you're going to try to develop a player, it's not necessarily just his skills, but his physical as well as his emotional state. So a lot of new changes into the game of baseball.
Certainly different than when you and I were young, Jerry. But now we've got strength and conditioning coaches. You've got diet sheets for kids. There's stretching. There's medical capabilities that were never available. All the players are playing at a much higher level. The game's progressing, and if you're an athlete and you like the journey and the grind and the challenge and the fun of playing baseball, there's nothing like it.
And returning back to the action here, we've got homegrown player Ollie Thompson with bases loaded. And Ollie taking a ball right up the middle. That's going to score at least 2 runs. And great clutch hit there by Ollie on the first pitch.
Nice piece of hitting. Guys, let's get a replay on that. That's terrific, right? Low fastball, decent pitch, doesn't do too much with it, and just drives it up the middle, gets 2 RBIs, and he's also had a run scored today. So that's really well done.
Ollie Thompson, a homegrown kid, started playing the game at 16. Has now moved on to the United States to play junior college baseball. Future looks bright for British baseball with kids like Ollie Thompson representing Great Britain's best. And we're going to look at the replay here, finishing off, and Ollie joining the national under-23 teams as they compete in August. So we'll be keeping an eye on Ollie's progression as he moves up the ranks to fulfill his dream of playing in the big leagues.
Another young Dutchman up, a right-hander, Luc Terbeek, number 23. He's on the roster as a pitcher, but he's a baseball player, so they asked him to take a couple of cuts. He's keen for it. So nice situation. You got runners at first and second, and he got some speed on the base pass.
And there's a foul ball.
Ollie looked like a real big leaguer in that last at-bat, huh? Settled into that batter's box and had a nice solid base hit up the middle. Good piece of hitting.
So we got runners at first and second. Our pitcher taking a deep breath before he releases, and there's the pitch. And it's a breaking pitch, low and inside. So as we return back to the action here in lovely Farnham Park, we have 330, 340 down the left and right field line respectively. And there's a ground ball to the third baseman that moves up 2 steps and throws the cross to get out number 3.
Well, Mr. Harrison battled through there.
So here we are leading up to the London series tomorrow, MLB workout day at London Stadium, where the Yankees and the Red Sox take the field. Closed-end session as well as media day between 1 and 6.
Am I right, Jerry, that tomorrow is it's media day and invitation by special invite for to watch some of the practice and batting practice?
That's correct, and you'll be out there, right, representing the British baseball as our media representative.
No, and I'm very hopeful to. I'm very intrigued by the change in baseball and the change in how bullpens are used. So if I can sneak my way in there, I'm going to try and have some conversations with the bullpen coaches and some of the coaching staff to figure out what the changes they've had to face in the last 4 or 5 years.
That's fantastic, and we couldn't think of anyone better representing us out there, Anthony. You've done a great job picking up the mic and carrying us through different weather types here in the UK, from a lot of rain to no rain to a sunny day to a breezy day, and more importantly, you've been able to handle it very professionally. So our great gratitude and appreciation for all your hard work.
Thanks. It's fun. It's fun to be here, and it's fun to just watch the baseball. I like watching baseball, and I think it's almost like in some cases I feel like we can watch the players improve at bat by at bat, and it's a fun game to be around. MLB, I said this before, they've done a great job of making this a player development event with the highly skilled players, A, likely to get signed, and B, having the format where they can excel. So it's fun to be around. So our batter now, number 23, Marco Eberle, facing Tobias Kiefer. Nice low pitch for a strike. Tobias has got some good hip action. Ball's plenty live coming out of his hand. Got himself a little bit tied up last inning, but I think he's got good stuff. Like that.
That's a big swing there on number 23. And the scouts here in attendance watching actively all the action. And there's the ball on the outside for a swing and a strike. MLB, as we've heard earlier from representatives all day from MLB, they have a lot of resources and investment in international baseball. The sport expanding all the way from Asia, Australia, to the Middle East, South America, North America, and definitely into Europe, as we're about to host the London Series. And we're very proud for all the hard work that MLB does for all the European NGBs.
And you know, we had it's really nice. We had Tony Reagans here, former Major League GM, working with youth development with Major League Baseball. Nice, classy individual. We had Craig Shipley here, special assistant to the general manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, long-term professional ball player himself. You know what, Jerry? We're having a good day.
Hey,
You're absolutely right, Anthony. It's just been a pleasure. Everyone's very professional. It has been a positive experience being out here, especially for these kids, which have also just shown what Major League Baseball has been providing to develop the sport outside of the United States. And there's a ground ball where the first baseman goes over to his left, throws over to first base, and the pitcher covering. That's a great play. Let's see that on replay.
That's a great play, and this is a good athletic maneuver by Mr. Kiefer. And the first baseman, he probably tweaked his ankle a little bit on that, but managed to make the play. So let's watch it. Here's the pitch.
Nice.
All right, number 20 for the Grays is up. Vojcic Mencic, one of the top 5 players here. Perhaps one of those players who might get signed. Showed some real speed and prowess on the base pass in his last at-bat. And Mr. Kiefer's got a good challenge in front of him. Base is empty. This is what you want if you're a young pitcher, up and coming. Nice pitch. Facing one of these real talented, bright spots here. Might have a future to go places in baseball.
Here we go. The infield playing deep in the lip. Outfield playing about 275. And there's a ball in the dirt. So as we turn back to the action, number 20 getting ready for the pitch. And here's our pitch. And big swing and a strike for out number 3.
Well, how about that? I'll tell you what, Tobias is going to go to bed tonight with a little smile on his face going, I got a one at bat, I got the better of a really good player. So congratulations there.
And here we come back in between the action here at Farnham Park. Just about 30 miles outside of central London. This past Heathrow Airport. Farnham Park hosting 4 fields, 2 Little League / softball, as well as 2 90-foot diamonds. Great complex. And also has a cafe where they serve good types of food and hot and warm drinks. Just a great venue for a tournament play, and also a nice place just to come out and relax and watch some good baseball.
Stefan Iannelli here, wearing the cap of the Dutch national team, is taking the hill for the Grays.
And
bit more compact than the last couple of pitches we've seen. Bit stockier, not quite as tall. Plenty of juice in the arm. Looks like a nice bulldog approach on the mound.
A lot of credit again to all these major league guys that came over and spoke to us. Earlier today we had Chris Haydock, Senior Director of International Baseball Operations, give us a great overview of MLB's expansion into the world. Baseball being played in almost every geographical region around the world.
Well, I'd like to give a thank you and a shout out to Max Thomas, the senior coordinator of baseball development for MLB. He sat with me for about a half hour, 40 minutes this morning, going through the rosters, pointing out the talents of the players and what to look for. And it's nice for him to make the time, and it is very useful information to have. It's made it a more enjoyable experience. Thank you, Max.
So here we go. We're on Team Blue 3, Team Gray 4. A lot of excitement here in the top of the 6.
I think that's Aiden Pierce in the batter's box over there. Think so.
So that's correct, Anthony. We've got Aiden Pierce here coming up. He's our second GB player. Aiden, our GB baseball representative in our under-18 team that's going to be competing in Sweden.
Longtime player for the London Meteors.
And, proud son of Jason Pierce, head of our national team program, which just joined us last December and has done a great job. And I'm sure he's watching Aiden. And we'll send a nice greeting over to Aiden and his mom.
A nice shout out to mom and dad that, your son's doing good.
And there's a strike. And outside, Aiden playing for the London Mets. You're one of our top teams in the National Baseball League. And Aiden taking a ball inside in the dirt.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And our scouting report here on Aiden. Catcher, good at bat, hard to strike out. Good above average speed on the bases.
High baseball IQ. All around tough kid, tough competitor. He's the sort of kid you want on your team.
Absolutely, Anthony. Great observation on the IQ here.
There we
There's
go.
ball number 4. So we've got Aiden on the bases, which is always the threat here.
No, he's a good athlete. He's got speed. He'll be happy to be where he is with no outs. Number 17 for the Blues. You know who this is? Your old friend Canuti.
Nothing gets past Knuti.
There's a strike.
Except that pitch. So here we go. Aiden taking a good lead over at first base. Our pitcher getting to the set. And he throws. And there he is. A ball up to center field. It drops for a base hit. However, Aiden has to hold as a center fielder, almost getting close to catching it. So we've got runners here at first and second.
Canuti keeping it simple. Bat through the ball. Hands up the middle. Nice sinking line drive up the middle. Runners at first and second with no outs. Nice piece of hitting there. Number 18 up, Frank Hernandez, outfielder from Spain. Struck out early, hit a sharp ball to center field his last at bat. He's got an RBI opportunity here. Ooh, tough one.
And there's a strike on the inside corner.
Infielder double play depth. There's a
Breaking
shot.
pitch that hits it over to the right side. It's a fair ball curving, going all the way to the outfield fence. That's going to score at least 1. They're sending in the runner from first over to home. He's going to score easily, and there's a play at the plate, and they've gunned him down. So that was a great throw from the right fielder that recovered, threw a absolute BB to home plate, and they caught the batter trying to get around third base and score. Only 2 runs scored there.
Nice piece of hitting, inside outside swing, curving away from the right fielder. So real nice piece of hitting. The Blues take the lead 5-4. Might have been a little bit overly aggressive on the base pass, but hats off to the Grays. They made the play. They made the relay throw. It was on target.
And Team Blue coming back here and taking the lead now here.
Tommy Van Desenden.
And there's the second run that scores, and they're sending the batter as he rounds third. And there's the throw coming in from the right field. And as you can see, it's an absolute cannon as the second run scores, but we missed it there. So as we turn back to the action here, we've got number
32, Tommy van der Sanden. One of our young Dutch contingents. I think it's the first time we've seen him today. The scouting report is he's a great kid. What did you like about him? I like everything about him. What does he do? What can he improve on? He's improving at everything. He's that sort of kid. Anything you ask him to do, he does happily. So the coaches are...
And there's a shot way back to left field. Left fielder going back about 320 and camping underneath it for an out. So there's a long ball here.
That's a good shot. No doubt the wind helped keep that in the park, but not a bad shot for Mr. Van den Sanden. I'm getting used to these Dutch names, Jerry.
How about that? Hoedemiha.
Where did you say you lived? In Utrecht?
Amsterdam, Utrecht. Beautiful country, the Netherlands. Great baseball. 50 fields. Baseball played there all week and all year round, believe it or not.
Walter Reed, number 26 for the Blues, is up.
And returning back here to the action.
Plays junior college ball in the U.S. Has a wide stance, not quite as wide as Ali Mueller, but wide-ish. Little leaner than Ollie.
Foul ball.
You know, one of the takeaways that I take away from this, because I get on the internet and I tend to follow these kids and look at the teams and the national teams, and it's going to be fun to watch all these kids in the next couple of years and watch their journeys.
And there's the strike. Tight and inside.
Nice pitch.
Fastball. And again, all wooden bats for this elite tournament.
Nice pitch. Good curveball. Good poise on that. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with the sportsmanship. I'm impressed with the poise. The kid's not getting rattled. You know, the competitive juices that are flowing out there, and the way the game is being played. So well done to all these young men, all 90 of them, for playing the game the right way.
And all week long we've had MLB here, and just for your reference, these kids not only have had playing opportunities like you're watching now, but they've also had professional instruction from day number one, as MLB has set up practice assessment stations for the scouts, and in the evening they all basically retrieve to hotels nearby and have some classroom sessions, social events, and it's just been a great experience to all these kids. So for those listening and tuning in, this is the BBF TV broadcast of the MLB European Elite Development Tournament. The British Baseball Federation, being the national governing body of Great Britain, welcoming all these teams from afar and bringing in the top 90 athletes, the rising stars of European baseball. As the NGB of the sport, we're very proud and appreciative of everybody's effort for making this a fantastic experience leading up to the London series.
You're right, Jerry. Without the help of all the governing bodies and all the clubs and all the coaches in all the various different countries to bring the athletes to a certain stage, so the MLB can run shows like this, it's a real testament to the coaches and the national program. So for you people who are listening, you know, well done and thank you.
And again, it all centers on MLB's good efforts to bring everybody together, different languages, different cultures, different approaches to the game. However, MLB has been the cornerstone of getting everybody together, working in the same way. So a lot of credit goes to their representatives. Dan earlier today, just fantastic person to be associated with.
Okay, new lefty on the mound, new pitcher for the Blues here, Lemba D'Alessandro from Italy. Tall, good leg kick, really stretches his arm out. Looks like he's got some pretty good pop on it before he lets loose.
So here's our pitcher, left-handed, coming in to face number 46.
This would be the larger of the Zelenka brothers, Jerry.
And believe me, he's large, big-framed young man, and the scouts are taking notice. So we've got ball 4 there, and we've got our runner advanced. We've got a runner at first base now. So we've got number 48 coming up to bat here, Anthony.
Tumen Taki is up with Zelenka on first.
High and inside for strike number 1.
It seems like D'Alessandro is burning off a little anxiety at the moment. Needs to get his form down. Checks the runner. He's just slightly out of sync between his lower body and his upper body, and sometimes his muscle memory will fix that in a couple of pitches. But he just got to kind of, it's a little too fast to the plate for where his arm slot is. There we go. Just it's amazing, that simple extra turn of the hip, or the fraction of a second longer in his delivery, and that's a dynamite looking strike. So well done. Foul ball on Mr. Taki. Sorry, Taki is from the Netherlands. Large fella, 6'6", 205. Large and lean is how they make him in the Netherlands. Zelenka taking the lead off first. D'Alessandro looks in for the sign. Tried to spin a curve on that. Just struggling to find his release point a little bit in his first outing today. The Blues are leading 5-4. Score's not the absolute end game in all this, but you'd still rather win than lose. Paul Rodriguez is on deck for the Grays. Good cut.
It's high and inside.
Frustrating when a batter strikes out on a ball out of the strike zone, but it happens, yeah. Number 8, Paul Rodriguez. Runner on first, 1 out. Zelenka a little cautious on his lead from first. Not trying to be too cute over there. I think that ground off of first base has firmed up a little bit, but maybe not too much.
Here's a ground ball to the shortstop, but hobbles it. Tries to recover, but not in time.
Tough. That's a classic case of, just taking your eye off the ball, looking to turn the double play before you actually have control of the ball.
And our two homegrown kids here out here is Ollie Thompson as well as Aiden Pierce, which is now catching.
Edgar Rodriguez, one of our Spanish contingent here today.
And we've got runners at first and second. And the pitch. And there's a strike. Aiden now the receiver to coming into the game, last at bat. Always proud to see good GB baseball representation out here.
No, Aiden is a very good catcher behind the plate. I think he's going to be leading the...
It's a major league foul ball going back, but out of play.
Aiden's going to be leading the Team GB into Sweden in a number of international tournaments. Won a lot of places, didn't win a lot of places, but he has the experience. So he's going to be one of the real team leaders this year, I feel. Off-speed pitch. Nice job by Mr. Pierce to keep that ball in front of you. Folks at home, part of the catcher's job is let the ball hit the ground, let it hit you. Use your body positioning to angle the ball to keep it in front of you. It's not a natural thing to do, which is one of the reasons why catching is so special and so difficult.
As we return back to the action here, there's a windup and a pitch that's low and inside for a ball. We've got runners at first and second.
And
a lot of pitches here, though.
Yeah, a lot of pitches, struggling to find the strike zone a little bit, trying to get command of their stuff. They've been sitting around all day. It's not so easy to come out and just start chucking it, if you know what I mean. It's a comment from Ron Darling not too long ago when he first started. Gary Carter started catching for him. When he wasn't throwing the ball right, Gary Carter would start throwing the ball back to him at 100 miles an hour as a catcher, and that was his way of saying, get yourself together.
There's
all right.
Ball 4, so we've got bases loaded here, and number 23 coming up.
23 for the Grays. Marco Eberli, one of the Italian contingents here. Third time I've made this mistake, Jerry. The Italian contingent from Germany. My mistake to the Eberli family. I think we have one out.
And the infield playing in here on the corners. However, double play depth is the second and shortstop.
The hope here is get the ground ball to short, turn 2, and you're out of the inning.
There's a ball high and inside.
Tricky thing is when you struggle to throw strikes, it kind of forces the team to take more pitches. It slows the game down, seems to exacerbate the pressure on the pitcher, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
There's another ball. So our pitcher here trying to get into the groove. There's ball 4, low and inside. So we've pushed in a run here. However, we've exceeded our pitch count, and automatically we're going to make a change. As the rule is, as understood, for safety purposes, anytime you hit the pitch count, we're going to change regardless if it's out number 3.
And you know, when the coaches look at D'Alessandra's outing today, they're going to find that his stuff is live. The ball's got plenty of movement. All the mechanics are there. All the ingredients are there, rather. He just needs to work a little bit on poise on the mound, bit of body language, and making his release point and delivery, hips, arm slot, just more consistent. Remember, some kids here are, 5 or 6 players are ready to make that next step almost now. Quite a few are not too far away, and a few kids are still up in the developing phase. And quite honestly, I think as far as Major League Baseball is concerned, that's just fine. It's about getting the player at the right time in the right spot to make the next jump in his game.
Great Britain hosting the London Series. Earlier this week, a lot of reports coming out about the history of baseball. And for those of you, baseball counts coming in on the 1740s of a game called baseball. So yes, there is truth to that. Baseball being played here for over 200 years. However, what the sport does is it brings us all together as we're experiencing just that, as 13 countries send their top 90 athletes. And we're seeing those in action today, and there's a ball outside. So as we turn back to the action here, wind's picking up a little bit. And there's a big swing by our batter. And as we turn back, and there's a strike on the inside corner for strike number 3. And what you'd like to see out here, if we can get the cameras to pan, is how the players are at the top step. I mean, scores 5-6. We're at the top of the 7s. It's been a long day for a lot of these kids as they've started out at 9 o'clock with conditioning practice, preparation. But yet, a lot of excitement showing that and supporting their teammates by getting on the top step and vividly involved in the action.
And, you know, third day of the camp, kids are getting tired. They're getting worn out.
And there's a Texas leaguer that's going to drop in for a base hit.
Tough one. Nice pitch by Ionelli. Kept it low in the zone, and the batter just got the end of the bat on it. So it happens, yeah.
And scanning the dugouts, see a lot of the majority of the players using hickory bats. And returning back to the action, most of them also having dropped 3 bats, 33 in length, 30-inch in weight.
So number 13, Jimmy Makupu, making his first appearance today. Another one of the French team that's taking the time to come here today. The scouting report on him is he can run, and Jerry Speed never quits.
So here we go, returning back to the action. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop, deep in the hole, and the ball just scurries right underneath the shortstop's glove and allows the runner from first to advance to third base.
That's what it looked like. Did that come off the pitcher's glove, or look like it might have made contact with something? No, I guess
we've
not.
got an advancement there as the ball went out, and we've got runners at the corners, first and third here, and number 16 is now up to bat.
Number 16, Jonas Vanderbergen.
So as you turn back to the action, there's a little toss over to first base just to keep the first base runner honest. And as we turn back, we've got our pitcher coming into the set. And back to first base again.
Jonas is an infielder from Germany, 5'11", 195 pounds, thick, strong lower body.
And there's a pop-up. Is there a possible play behind the dugout?
Good hustle by the Grays on that.
And there's the previous play, and our runner from first, head first slide into third.
Nice.
That's a pretty big risky slide there, head first, Anthony. As you know, you find kids nowadays just sliding in head first, and before you know it, they tear a shoulder muscle.
I've heard there's such things happen, Jerry. You know, with me, when I slide head first, I don't slide. I just hit the ground.
And then all of a sudden, you know, you get that injury, and you think you learn your lessons, and there you do it again, and before you know it, you tear a lat.
Folks, Jerry's picking on his son for sliding, but he's a good kid. Okay.
So returning back to the action here, we've got number 16 ready to go.
Ionelli with the pitch, slow and outside. Tough one for Ionelli. Texas Leaguer base hit off the end of the bat. Error by the shortstop, who, well, perhaps should have just been able to keep the ball in the infield or get one out. And all of a sudden he's, you know, he's stuck in a bit of a jam.
So here we go. A stealing opportunity, and I believe he's going. Leaning, however, he gets back. And you can see a little bit of an indication here as the base runner at first was within the circle, 13 feet, and now he's creeping past that circle, and that's a pretty good indication that he's leaning to steal. As you can see, he's creeping, and I think he's going here, Anthony.
Let's see.
Yep. And there's a fly ball to the right side. He's going to have to return if it's caught, and it looks like a foul ball. And that's the nice part about baseball here. Fly ball that goes outside of the fair territory, and it's dropped. Everybody returns, and we try again.
Well, tough catch. The ball's tailing away from the right fielder, and on top of that, you're looking right into the sun, the fading sun. So, but you caught it exactly right, Jerry, about the runner stealing. I was a little bit waiting for the runner on third to try and go as well. We'll see if they're going to try that again.
So here we go, returning back to the action here with runners at first and third. And he's going again. And there's the throw to second. It's cut off. And the runner at third returns back to third base.
Right. So the Blues, the Grays rather, sacrificed the runner going to second. They were looking to pick the runner trying to score from third. The runner from third kind of picked that up and didn't score. Quite a chess match.
Yes, it is. And as we turn back to the action, we've got runners at second and third. The corners are in. Short and second, middle infielders are back, about 5 steps in from the lip. And as we pan around, we've got the outfield about 275 from left, center, and right.
Well, I think Ionelli would like to keep the ball on the ground, maybe get an out at first to hold the runner.
And there's a fly ball up in the infield. A tough play. Second baseman comes in and makes it look easy.
Nice job. That's the Swedish
replay there.
That's our Swedish player who
Major League pop-up.
Yep.
A lot of wind. No angels in the skies or clouds. Sun in
nice
your
play.
eyes, and makes it look easy.
Max Hill plays his college ball in California. Nice play.
And coming up again is Aiden Pierce, number 11, our catcher for today, and our Great Britain, one of our 2 representatives for the Great British Federation. And he takes the first pitch for a base hit. That'll score 2 RBIs. And Aiden advancing to second base on that. Good baseball right there by Aiden Pierce on the first pitch. Singling over to left field. 2 RBIs, and we've exceeded the pitch count for the pitcher, and we go back in and do a changeover.
Well, that's really something. So you got Ollie Thompson with a base hit, 2 RBIs. Aiden Pierce with the base hit and 2 RBIs. Team GB's having a nice afternoon today. Congratulations to those guys.
But then again, they practice it almost every other week. You know, a lot of credit here to the coaches for the national team. So all that practice does pay off in big center stages like this.
Agree.
And enough can't be said about that. You know, a lot of these players, this is their first experience in a big stage here, this big type of showcase with Major League scouts, traveling abroad. They've all been very mature, so you got to give them credit for that. And a lot of them have produced big hits, just like what we saw right there from Aiden Pierce.
Agree. Nice to see the kids have poise and no doubt. No doubt the kids are growing and appreciative of all the coaching they've had. So Mark Harrison for the Blues now, right-handed pitcher. It's going to be the brother of Paul Harrison, who pitched earlier. Remarkably similar body physiques on these two guys. The Zelenka brothers, you got a big, thick one who catches and a leaner one who pitches, where both of the Harrison boys, men I should say, are both right-handed pitchers. Long and lean. The scorecard has this young man as 6'9". So literally, Jerry, the bigger brother. Mr. Trump from the Netherlands will lead off. Catcher conferring with the pitcher. What are the signs? What are we going to throw? How's it going to feel? That's Aiden behind the dish. Just outside. Slightly three-quarter arm sidewinder type of delivery, Jerry?
Yep, a tall, lengthy kid here. Great stride to home. Tough to see when the sun's coming down here.
Yes, advantage pitcher, no doubt. You'll notice how he's got the old school pants on, Jerry.
Yeah, Anthony, your favorite out there, so he'll be a little bit biased here.
He's tall and lean like me.
There you go, huh? The sun must be pretty low right now that you're losing a little bit of vision.
It's always good to have friends. Nice play by Aiden. And a walk for Mr. Trump. Our Swedish kid, player, Max Hill, plays his college ball in California. Had a couple of great stops at third base in game one and had a nice catch on a pop-up the previous inning. His mom and dad I was talking to before in the stands, they're just happy they could see him play. They don't get a lot of live streaming at his particular university in California, so they're very, very excited. Apparently has a younger brother who will be playing against us in the tournament in 2 weeks' time.
There we had a little bit of a changeover at second.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got runners here at first base. And let's see here with Team Blue 7 and Team Gray 6. What's the strategy here? He's going, I believe, just by his movement over there. And I guess I was right. I was wrong. How about that, Anthony? Wrong again.
Well, he's leaning. You know, sometimes it might go a pitch or two. You know, I have the feeling he's casing the joint, so to speak. So I'm not 100% sure. You know, I like to point out when you're wrong, but I'm not sure you're wrong on this one. He's off. Nice job. Let's see
There's
what
Aiden with a throw, and he's got him. Great play by Aiden Pierce behind the dish there, recovering from high and inside pitch and throwing it over. Let's see that replay here.
Good stance, quick release, little high. Nice job on the throw to sweep it as he goes by. Well done. And I'll tell you what, if you're a pitcher who's walked the first batter and you could throw him out, it's a wind in your sails.
And there's a foul ball back to the screen. Aiden doing a nice job behind the dish there and picking up 2 RBIs. Ollie Thompson earlier also picking up 2 RBIs. So as representatives of Great Britain, can't say enough how proud we are both showcasing their talents here on behalf of Great Britain.
Very close pitch. I think we've got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitchers dictating the narrative on this. Good player at the plate. And
that one gets away from the pitcher and he hits the batter. However, if you're going to get hit, you want to get hit in the little fleshy part there of your thighs, and that's where that one landed.
Darnell Collins is up for the Grays, but on base a couple of times today. It's a shame because the pitcher doesn't want to, you're up 0-2 on a batter. You don't want to wind up hitting him, but it happens, right? Good recovery. It's tough with that kind of 3/4 sidearm delivery for a right-handed batter who's tucked into that batter's box with that long arm. You can see how the angles you could wind up hitting a lot of batters. There's 2. I get a sense that Mr. Hill's a little frisky on the base pass as well, Jerry. He's taking a bigger than normal lead, and he's trying to size up this long righty.
Again, my indication there's that circle, 13 feet. He's on the outside of that circle, and that's a huge lead. And that ball a little bit outside gets away, and the runner advances to second base. So as we all prepare for the London Series, this is the last day of the Elite Development Tournament out here at Farnham Park.
Low. Great event, great day. Going to the snack stand, getting a water, talking with the parents and the players. Everyone's happy to be here. They're tired, but that's sort of tired after you've worked hard, put an effort in, and gotten better. So it's a really good mood here at Farnham Park. Get the out.
First baseman moves over to the right. Pitcher covering. Nice play by the pitcher and first baseman. They're definitely in sync and balanced, and they get an out. However, our runner from second advances to third. So we've got our next batter, number 1, coming up.
Yes, nice athletic move by the pitcher. Here's another player that the scouts are really, really high on. Radley Legito, middle infielder.
And what country is he from, Anthony?
I'm going to tell you in a second. Another one of the Dutchies.
Up the middle to the second baseman. Second baseman scoops it, throws it over, and gets an out. No run score on that.
Well
so
done.
We're still here. Team Blue 7, Team Gray 6.
Nice inning for Mr. Harrison. He had a base hit, he had a hit a batter, but he also kept the ball low, threw strikes, and got out of the inning with no run. So a lot of positives to be taken out of the inning from that. So we're going to head to the top of the 8th now. 2 innings to go, folks, or 4 half frames.
So as we're here at the top of the 8th.
Constantini Tuffle taking the mound. for the Grays. Austrian fella. Nice stride to home plate. When you see a pitcher like this pitching, Jerry, you could tell he's been to a coach somewhere. He's getting a lot of torque out of his lower body as he does this. I know he's wondering, you're playing in Austria, who did you talk to? But it's amazing how coaching proliferates all over the world, and these kids are working at it. It's fun to watch. Okay, Jerry's old friend from the Blues, Mr. Canuti, leads us off in the top of the 8th. Constantini Tuffel, the Austrian lad, with the high socks on the hill. We might be facing a little bit of time pressure here with a hard cutoff at 7 o'clock, but we're going to keep you posted on that. Strike one. A little high.
Ball up the middle. Second baseman scoots over to his right and makes the throw to get our runner at first for 1 out.
Nice play. Smooth look on the infield. Steady. Nice job by the pitcher, keeping the ball in the lower part of the strike zone, achieving the ground ball. Frank Hernandez, our Spanish outfielder. Little high. Well, I think a few of the umpires, a few of the fans, Jerry, maybe even you, are going to go home and think, I need sunscreen. You wouldn't imagine that here in England, but every once in a while.
And there's a base hit on the left-hand side in between shortstop and third baseman.
Nice effort by the shortstop to lay out for that. Not a bad pitch, just a slightly better hit. Luke Terbeek. Nope, I'm sorry. That's Tommy Van Desenden. Apologies for that. Trouble with reading the numbers on the back of the jerseys.
Pitcher here from Austria showing good velocity.
Yes. A lot of lower body movement. Nice bulldog mentality, lots of confidence, mound presence, if you will. Runner goes.
And there's the catcher. Nice throw, but unfortunately a little bit too late as our runner at first got a good lead and easily gets into second base. So we've got a runner on second base.
If you look at the replay, the pitcher was so focused on his pitch, which was a terrific pitch, didn't check the runner. Plenty of movement on the curve from the Austrian fella.
There's the ball to the third baseman, ground. Everybody gets through, and the runner at second waits for the third baseman to release, runs to third base, gets underneath the tag as it's returned back from the first baseman. So we've got runners at first and third.
And Van Den Sanden really hustles down the line here. He creates it's not a bad play by the third baseman, but it's the runner and the legs that puts runners on first and second. Okay, up for the Blues, Fred Walter. Another one of the numerous young French ball players that are here. Tall kid, looks 6'2", 6'3", 180 pounds or thereabouts. Runners on first and second. Challenge for the young Austrian. Runner goes, high pitch. Right. Third baseman wasn't, the runner on third wasn't falling for that one. Sacrifice the base, try and induce the runner from third to go, make the play out at home. On the offensive side, the base runner saw that, stayed home. Good play all around. So now the key for the pitcher here is stay calm, work on the next batter. It's amazing the pop flies, Jerry. When you start getting balls in the mid-80s on a consistent basis, the pop flies and the foul tips, they're coming off the bat close to 100 miles an hour. They really go far.
That's correct, Anthony. And as we return back at the action, we've got the infield pulled in. We're trying to keep this game close with Team Blue 7, Team Gray 6. There's a fly ball out to center field, in between center and right. Right fielder camping underneath it. The runners all tag up, and one run scores, and the runner at second advances to third.
Nice job by the batter on that, getting the ball in the air, getting it out of the infield to ensure that run comes across. And yeah, it's an important run. Right, that'll bring the score to 8-6 Blue. Blue traded an out for a run late in the game. Smart move.
So we've got Team Blue 8, Team Gray 6 here at the top of the 8th.
Paulo Brossier is up for the Blues. Nice curveball there. Nice poise on the mound by this young Austrian pitcher. Ooh, very close. Konstantin Tuffel has the same spelling of his last name as Tim Tuffel. He used to play for the New York Mets. I wonder if they're cousins or distant cousins.
There's a small little scribbler out in front of the plate. Catcher comes up and recovers and throws out the batter at first base.
Nice play. Good play by the catcher on that one.
So as we go down to the bottom of the 8th, we got Team Blue 8, Team Gray 6, and there's a quick replay. So with the sun coming down, we hopefully will make the 9th inning. However, we're getting very close to ending this game, as we don't want to exhaust all our pitchers here. And this elite tournament of some of the top teams from all across Europe. So as you see a little bit of the warm-up in between innings here, we're very grateful again for MLB investing the field And in British baseball, with all the events leading up to the London series that happened on Saturday through Sunday, New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. A lot of anticipation for this London series. People have been scurrying for their tickets earlier in the year. We expect a lot of tourists coming in from the continent, from all about the European community. On behalf of the BBF, we're looking forward to hosting them. We look forward to providing our support for next year's London Series 2 with the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals as well.
Well, I think we both feel it, Jerry. This weekend's going to be a rousing success for baseball, for Major League Baseball, and baseball in Europe. I think you're right. We're going to wind up with some of the biggest, if not the biggest, games attended. Major League Baseball's eyes are going to pop open. Cubs and Cards roll into town next year rather, and I think it's going to be a big boost to the game here in Europe. New pitcher for the Blues, Fermin Hassad, another one of the strong French contingent here. Right-hander. Facing Martin Zelenka, catcher for the Czech Republic. Little low. Ooh, a little high and inside.
So as we return back to the action here, we've got the infield playing a little bit back here, playing the batter. Outfield playing around 300 feet. No shift here, just playing old-fashioned baseball infield.
Well, Furman's born in 2003, so 2018, he's 15 years old. So he's going to be one of the younger players here at the tournament, but he's getting his chance to go up against some of the better talent, and he throws a strike to one of the better looking players here at this tournament. So fun to see a kid get a chance to compete. And again, the coaches have set this up this way, so these guys are going to get their chance to play. They're going to get to play, to throw the ball against some better players, and vice versa.
That's a big swing there on the batter.
Absolutely.
So as we turn back to the action here, got number 46 facing our pitcher, which winds up and takes a big stride and throws it past the batter for 1 out.
Well, how about that? One of the young guys here, youngest kids at the tournament, just struck out one of the more seasoned guys. This happens at baseball, as you and I know, but no matter what happens for the rest of the inning, this young pitcher from France is going to go back home and have a nice story to tell. So congratulations, Jameen.
So here we are, the second batter for this inning.
Ooh, that was close. Good arm angle on this pitcher.
And there's a shot to right. Right fielder covering his eyes, and the ball gets to him. Makes it look easy, and there's out number 2.
You know, with 360 to the fence out there, it's a long way. Fairness to the right fielder, he's got to watch against the sun, and he's got some uneven ground out there with that little baseball field. So nice play by the right fielder to hold that one in. And if you're a pitcher, you struck a kid out, struck out one batter, fly ball on the other, you're starting to think, I'm going to get out of this inning and go to order, Jerry. Mick Voss for the Grays.
And there's a ball low and outside. That's ball number 2.
Well, Jerry, I know we're nearing the end of the broadcast here, so I just want to say it's been a heck of a nice day. Great event by Major League Baseball. Great effort by the BBF to put this together. A lot of people will be able to look back at this, and the players will want to look back at this. And so it's going to be a nice piece of coaching equipment, a nice piece of, nice piece of hopefully reporting that we've done, announcing, and thank you for the invitation.
And Anthony, always a pleasure. There's a ground ball to the second baseman. He scoops it up, throws it over to first, and that's out number 3.
Terrific. So that's the end of 8.
Again, Anthony, always a pleasure for you joining us in the broadcast booth. You've been a credit since you started this last year, and we look forward to you joining us for the national championships in August as well as September, youth and senior baseball.
Thank you. I enjoy it. I enjoy the kids. I enjoy the games, and it's fun to be part of. My kids are growing up now. I did a lot of coaching here when they were younger, but it's nice to be part of baseball and continue to give a little bit back.
So we are going to play the 9th inning, the last inning of the game. We're going up to the top of the 9th. Team Blue 8, Team Gray 6.
Constantine Tuffle will take the mound again for the 9th.
And again, a lot of these athletes will break tomorrow, return back to their countries, join their respective club teams, as baseball in Europe is primarily played on the weekends, with some exceptions during the week. And most of these players play at the highest level, so their clubs have released them for this camp tournament, and now they have to come back, even though they've got the London series in front of them. Their commitments are important, so we wish them all the best. It's been a great experience being out here today.
I think these boys are going to go back home, and they're going to be rock stars in their clubs, and they're only going to fuel the appetite for the younger kids or the next generation, next age group, to want to come here next year. We'll go to the next MLB Elite Tournament.
So to return back to the action there's a ball low and outside.
Jerry, it's me putting 2 and 2 together, so that's always dangerous. But if there is if the London series goes on year after year, it is possible that there will be an MLB Elite Tournament here for many years to come. And if that was part of the rotation, I think that would be a good thing for baseball, the BBF, and would be good for baseball.
Well, that's what we're looking for, that good little spark here from Major League Baseball, the London series tournaments like this. Great Britain, being involved in baseball for over 200 years. We're looking forward to the residual effect, dividend of Major League Baseball investing in the UK.
There's a walk by Tyreek Kemp of the Blues. Mr. Tuffle's going to have to gather himself and get after this next batter. Number 13, Jimmy Mapuku. One of the French players. The scouting report, great athlete, can really run. The runner goes, and catcher just loses the handle on that. Well, Jerry, I think it's impressive that the BBF operates as an independent on a budgetary basis. I know you run a tight budget, but it does give a bit of independence, and every bit of revenue you get and you spend is going back into the game, and I have a feeling there's more success down the road for the BBF.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony. I mean, we're very proud of that. We're 100% self-funded NGB. We received no public funding since the inception. We run and oversee over 1,000 games in our senior leagues. National championships, our national team, which is made up of 4 divisions. We are one, if not the few, of NGBs that's self-funded, as the majority throughout Europe as well as in the UK for other sports receive public funding except us.
Not to say that the BBF never gets a donation or never gets help from somebody, but the idea that all that money is going right back into the game. Big focus when I talk to you about continuing to build and stress the youth baseball here and youth baseball development, which I think dovetails nicely with what MLB is thinking.
And we really appreciate that, Anthony, because at the end, no one gets paid here at the BBF. It's an all-volunteer organization, and it's an all-volunteer organization for the all 30 clubs, which really deserve a lot of credit, as they're the ones knocking on the doors of the schools, the communities, and so much credit has to go to them. These are individuals that have vested their time, their energy, and that is the future of baseball.
Well, if they're doing it for the love of the game, then they're going to keep doing it, and that's you start the tradition building from there. All right, so Mapuku got hit by a pitch. It was a bit of a question whether it was a foul ball or not. We have runners on first and second now. The wind's really starting to kick up, but Jonas Vanderbergen, stocky infielder from Germany, is up with runners on first and second. Nice pitch from Konstantini Tuffel of Austria.
So let's look at here, the pitcher here, looking in for the set. Short motion. Not a long stride for a big hit. And that ball's in the dirt. And the runners try to advance, and they safely get underneath the tag at second and third. So
nice backhand by the third baseman. If that ball scoots past him, there's a run in. So nice play on that. Best thing that for Tuffel to do here is he's got to try and they're going to pull the infield in a little bit. Runners corners in. He needs to get an out.
And there looks to be a single that'll score at least one, and there's going to be a play at the plate. And the runner at third holds up. So we've got runners at first and third.
Not a bad pitch. I think he just got a little bit too much of the plate, Mr. Tuffel.
So Team Blue padding to the lead. It's now 9. Team Gray 6.
So I think Will Lintern is preparing the "I told you so" moments for his colleague on the Great Britain team. Aiden Pierce is up for the Team GB. Had a base hit, 2 RBI single in his last at bat, and he's up with runners in scoring position now.
And there's a ground ball to the third baseman, throws to second base, and the ball goes through the second baseman's glove, and that's an E, and that'll score a run. So we've got runners at first and third now.
Tough, tough, tough. Sharply hit ball.
So Team Blue adding to the score here. 10 runs, Team Gray 6.
Mr. Canudi's up with a runner on third and a runner on first.
Nothing Canudi cannot do. Number 17.
It's funny, when you watch the pitcher warm up, you think to yourself, he's going to be dynamite, and his pitches aren't bad. His defense hasn't helped him out much this inning.
And there's a base hit. They'll score an RBI. You got runners now at first and second. And Canudi living up to his folklore, nothing I cannot do.
So
that brings a break in the action as we get to the max of the pitch counts.
Yep, 11 runs for the Blues and 6 for the Grays. We're heading to the bottom of the ninth. I think when the coaches sit and talk with Constantine after this, they're going to tell him all the stuff is there. maybe a little bit over the plate on a few. Defense didn't quite maybe do enough for you today, and you just got to limit your walks. So. Pitching for the Blues, Lucas Schmeichel, part of the left-handed pitcher from the Czech Republic, 6'7", 198 pounds. Big leg kick.
So as we turn back to the action here, we have our lefty pitcher. How tall is he, Anthony?
The stat here says 6'7", 198 pounds. The big lad. So we're looking at a good leg kick, mild with the hip, and just trying to get a handle for his arm slot here. Okay, bottom frame of the ninth inning. Pitch is getting his warm-up angles in. The Grays have got number 25 coming up this inning, Edgar Rodriguez. They got number 23, Marco Eberle. Both have bats in their hands behind the diamond waiting for the final warm-up pitch, and we should be good to go, folks. Okay, coming up at bat number 25, Edgar Rodriguez. He's a big body. The coaches like the fact what he can grow into. He's a projectable player, and the skills and all the essentials around his game are building pretty rapidly here at the camp. Batter digs in, pitcher gets a sign to the rubber. Here we go, folks. A little high. Left-hander pitching from the windup. Foul ball. So the pitcher doesn't go quite over his head with his windup, but he does raise his hands above his head. So it's slightly different than what you see most pitchers do from the windup. Here we go. Nice pitch, nice and easy. Now you see that the last pitch, the pitcher stepped off the mound as opposed to shaking off the pitcher. So it was either a miscommunication on the sign or he wanted a new one, but it's a gentlemanly way to ask the pitcher to change the pitch as opposed to shaking off the pitcher. It's a style thing, classy. And the pitch. Tried to spin a curve on that one. Didn't quite get the release point right. And the pitch. Nice pitch. I wouldn't say the velocity is off the charts with this pitcher, but it looks like a heavy ball. Doesn't look like it's that easy to hit. Schmeichel hails from the Czech Republic. Part of a solid group of growing, good, fundamentally sound baseball players out of a good national program, good club program of the Czech Republic. He wheels and deals. Ground ball. Tough. Pitcher got the ground ball. Shortstop, good job getting to the ball. Didn't quite set his feet fast enough. Okay, next batter. Number 23. Marco Eberle. Infield a double play death for the Blues. There we go. There's one. There we go. Nice play. Outstanding play. Let's get that on a replay, guys, if we can. Right, ground ball to short. Nice pitch. It's low. Ground ball. Pitch gets it. Quick release. Good footwork by the second baseman. Plenty of time to go to second base.
And that's 2 outs here. Anthony,
2 outs.
With 1 out to go here, Team Gray. Last at bat here. Keith O'Reilly.
I think that's the first double play we've seen today. So well done to the Blues. Mr. Trump.
So
Nice pitch.
that's strike 1 on the batter. Our pitcher here showing the promise of getting the first ball over for a strike.
I would say the best pitch. First pitch strike.
High and outside for ball number 1.
After a team rolls a double play behind a pitcher, there's always a bit of, happiness and glee in a pitcher's heart when the defense has helped them out like that. Confidence. Nice pitch. We're predominantly seeing fastballs from Mr. Schmeichel, but he's keeping it low. He's working it inside and outside. Looks very competent and composed on the mound. Pitcher wheels and deals.
So Team Blue 11, Team Gray 6. Here at the bottom of the 9th. And there's a pop-up that's going to go in between shorts. Ooh. And the left fielder calls off the shortstop. However, as he dives, the ball trickles out of his glove, and the batter gets to first base.
Yeah, it did look like he fully committed on that one. And he got it. You have to be worried about the glare as well. So here's the tough Swede, Mr. Hill.
And there's a replay.
And just half a step extra by the outfielder. Nice pitch.
So strike 1, and Team Gray is trying to stay alive here.
Yeah, they're not going to go down easy. I give Schmeichel a lot of credit. Defense rolled a double play, maybe made a small mistake. He's right back to throwing strikes. It's nice to see. Good job by Mr. Pierce using the body. Here's the pitch. A little high. And one of the skills the pitcher's on working on a move like that, as he was coming to the plate, he turned his head to check the runner. And as you're doing that, you take just a fraction of a second off the catcher. And as you develop, you're able to do that. And it's a good weapon to work on while you're at a camp like this. Little high. On deck for the Grays, Darnell Collins. Job by Mr. Schmeichel. It's high, very high.
Second baseman going out there. It's got the angle, and that ends this game with Team Blue 11, Team Gray 6. The second game of our 2-game Elite Development Tournament. And Anthony, it's been a pleasure having you all day here. It's been a great experience. Some everlasting thoughts?
Jerry, it's been fun to be here. It's been fun to see this level of play. It's been fun to see the kids progress. It's been fun to talk to the kids and the coaches. A real nice feel-good experience with baseball being played at as high a level as I've ever seen it played here in the UK or at the 17 or 18, 19-year-old level. So really congratulations to the boys. Congratulations to the coaches and the families, MLB, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
And on behalf of the British Baseball Federation, congratulations to MLB for putting on a great show all week. All these players have been very appreciative, so have we. We look forward now to breaking, and we look forward to seeing you. Tune in for later in the year. Thank you on behalf of the British Baseball Federation.
One, two, three,